All right, welcome to your review of Rome, part two. So here's some things that I want you to be able to study for, or study on, I suppose. Again, this is not the end all for studying. What you should do is you should definitely make sure that you study your notes. Number one. Notes should always be number one. Number two should be your vocabulary. So make sure you go back over your vocab. Make sure you look at your past vocab quizzes, which I should get graded and back to you pretty soon here. At least by today, today being Wednesday, but I'm taping this on Tuesday. Shh. But anyways, here are the things that I would study for if I were you. So just pay attention to what I type in and I'll talk to the type. So for section 3.1, you have some major things like inventions and innovations. Inventions and innovations. Inventions would be like their aqueducts. Innovations would be any kind of changes that they would make in terms of adopting other things. And roads would be an example of that as well. I also want you to know about stuff they borrowed from other places. Now let me grab my notes real quick. Back again. So stuff that they borrowed from other places would be like going into the religion of our section. That would clearly be one of the big things since they borrowed that from the Greeks. Dramatic pause for me to get to this place. They also had the idea of, my desk's not big enough for me, so you could put this up top here, currency, roads, currency, if I can spell it right, weights and measurements, that type of thing. So be able to tell me about their writings. They had two main forms of writings. They had satire and odes. Satire, they're poking fun at something, usually with a humorous intent. That's the idea. And odes, those are poems to something that they love. So if you really love pizza, you would write a poem for your special pizza, I suppose. And so last thing here from this section is I would be able to talk about buildings, which you have the Colosseum, the Pantheon, and although this is not a building, vaulted ceilings. So you have a form of architecture in the ceilings, and then you have a couple of buildings, the Colosseum. Again, remember it's spelled a couple different ways. Where the gladiators fought. It's kind of the grandfather of our football stadiums that we have in modern times. And then your Pantheon was their temple that they had built to honor their gods. So section 3.2 is going to be on science and engineering. So science and engineering. No, Galen and Ptolemy, what they did. One studied anatomy and physiology, and the other was an astronomer. Be able to tell me about entertainment. That would be the gladiators and Circus Maximus. Now, your gladiators, you could go into that quite a bit. You could talk about how both of these were the concept of, let me get that, bread and circuses. And bread and circuses is the idea that you're, feeding the people entertainment, you're feeding the people their food. And to me, this is the magic trick that I talked about. You have a shiny object in one hand, and then your other hand's doing all the fooling here. But it kept people in line and doing what they were supposed to be doing. Remember that your Circus Maximus, that was your idea of, Circus Maximus was the chariot races. At that large arena. So, tell me the difference between chariot races and gladiators. Also that you want to talk about here is gender roles. Who did what in Roman society? So between boys and girls and men and women, what they were able to do, but also know that word. This one always gets people all the time. Rhetoric. Making sure I can spell it right. I had it right. Rhetoric. There you go. The ability to speak well. That is rhetoric. So there's 3-2. Again, bigger concepts. Not to say I won't pick some smaller things out of here, but that's what we're trying to do is get you to think about ideas for like short answers in your essays. For 3-3, 3-3, talk about the importance of slavery. Like, why have it? The bad that came from it, and that would be like the revolts. I'm not saying that it's good at all. I'm just saying there's a reason for them to have it. Be able to tell me their religion. Greek versus Roman gods. Know the ones that we had listed in there. And yeah, that's it. Know your differences there. One thing up top here that I do want to make sure that we talk about is up here by the buildings, the forum was a social gathering place. I think I'll put that in there. There we go. Looks pretty good. So there is 3-3, not a big section at all. And then we get to the big part is these last two parts we're going to call the decline of Rome. Decline of war? Okay, that works. Decline of, my goodness, caps lock on. Not what I want. Rome, decline of Rome. So 3-4. Be able to list for me. Why Rome fell. You'll tell me why Rome fell. Now you got two categories here. You've got internal, and those would be a lot of the stuff that we talked about the other day. Plague. Military. Economics. Political issues. Inflation, things like that. And then secondly, oh yeah, but leadership here, that definitely should be in there, but we're going to talk about that later. And then number 2 is external. External, that's better. Barbarians. So those are your two big things. Now again, have some explanation to these. If I'm answering this question, number 1 is my leadership, number 2 is my barbarians, and then you go from there with all the rest of the stuff. So other things that I want out of this unit or section here is I want to be able to tell me about Diocletian, reforms. Tell me the things that they tried. Tell me why they might not, why they might be successful or why they might not be successful. So again, that is 3-4. Ooh, can't stop yawning. No, I'm not boring myself. I'm just kind of tired. Didn't sleep well. But anyways, enough about me. Last thing for your section, in terms of your biggest things, is know your barbarians. Know where they came from. Know which group came from which place. You've got that chart that is up top there. That's pretty important. And the last thing that you should know about, what is Rome's legacy for us? Now that could be for us, me and you, or that could be for like the United States. So Examples would be talk about politics. You can talk about their sports, their buildings, religion with Christianity. If I can spell it right. Christianity. Christian. Oh my goodness. That's bad. Oh boy. Christianity. Their culture. So Latin would be in there. Rule of law. There you go. Those types of things. That's what I'm looking for. So again, this is for your benefit. It's not for mine. I already know this stuff, believe it or not. But if I'm looking at my test saying what are the most important things, looking at my notes saying what are the most important things, these are definitely it. So this is a good little outline for you to use or not. It is entirely up to you. But again, it's not the end all. Your note sets are the end all, because if you go through your test, every single question is in your notes in some fashion. So go back through your vocabulary, go through this, think about your set of notes, and as you go through it, and you should be all right, good to go. So reminder, Thursday, everybody will take their test at the beginning of their periods. Show up on time, especially my second period kids who haven't been showing up for stuff on time, and you're getting back points. Friday, same thing, show up on time. Honestly, it should take you only 25 minutes a piece on each day. So that way you get it done, get it over with. Now, also do me a favor, stop cheating. I know you guys, some of you guys are plagiarizing. I can tell the writings of 7th graders versus those on the interwebs. So just give me your own thoughts. Don't give me somebody else's, because then we have a bigger problem than that. But there you go. Here is your check. We'll drop it as a review and also share this out with you. So there you go. Hope you do well. See you Thursday.